Hello, hello. Hey, guys, this is Ted with the Omaha REIA. Thanks for coming out today. Hey, if you hadn't had a chance to check out our sponsors, just going to go over here and introduce the sponsor booths. It's nice that we actually have some sponsor booths full for a change. We always have the sponsors, but we never get you guys out here enough. So I'm going to start off over here. We have Frankel. If you guys are looking for accounting services, this is a company I have personally used for over 6 years. You guys were referred to me through the Schlickburns originally. And so I've been with you. You guys are, real estate. It's kind of one of your niches of many, but I'll let Austin and Scott take it from here and just give a one minute overview of your business and what you do.
So Austin, Scott, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We love tax, love the rental space and everything it brings, the tax advantages and whatnot. So please introduce yourself, and we'd love to get to know you guys and get to know your business.
I don't have much else to follow that. So we've got a card up here. You can scan it. Our business cards are up here too to take you to our website. So come say hi.
Can't believe you guys are able to peel yourself away right now. This is kind of like the hectic season coming in right now, right? Yeah, and just so you guys know, if you are a sponsor, take advantage of the discount that they provide. What they do is they give a 1 hour free consult every season. And I definitely use that. I try to break up in little 15, 30-minute increments. I'm like, hey, should I buy this truck? Yes or no? So Tom here, he's with Thrasher Basements. A lot of you guys know or don't know, but I used to work for Thrasher for about 4 years before my life here. And so it was about 9 years ago now. But Thrasher's, there's a lot of companies out there, and you can just go ahead and get anybody. But I'll tell you, nobody does it like you guys do. And then there is a level of insurance that you feel when you actually sell a house that has a Thrasher system in it versus a Joe Blow system in it, because there's a little bit more of a comfort level, regardless of, you might look at that price on this one and be like, oh, that's this, but you're not getting that level of security that you get when you put a Thrasher wall in. So Tom, you got a few things you want to say?
Yeah, thanks, Ted. I handle for Thrashers just strictly the real estate side of the business and the property manager side of the business. So the whole idea is for you guys to call me directly. And typically I can get out there in a short period of time. If you're looking at evaluating a potential property you want to buy, just call me directly. I can let you know if it's good or bad and give you the news without having to go through a full-blown sales presentation. So that's come up, grab a card. Whatever you're looking at has to do with the basement or foundation. So thanks, Ted.
And if you go to our REIA Radio YouTube channel, both of these guys have done presentations here. And every presentation we've ever done is on our YouTube channel and recorded. So you can see Tom speak, or you can see Jordan with Frankel speak every year. Marty, I'll let you say a quick word, but we're going to call you up here in a minute. So I just want to introduce people and what you do.
Sure. Hi, folks. Marty McGuire, Blackstone Insurance Group, full service insurance broker. And I work with a lot of the investors, rental properties, apartment complexes, commercial properties, things of that nature. So I'll say a little bit more in a little bit. Cool.
And back here, we got JM Real Estate. Now, just so you guys know, there is a bucket right here. And if you do have a card or don't have a card, you could fill out this in the back here. But they're giving away 2 books tonight. And they're doing Dr. Dennis Waitley's The Psychology of Winning, and they're doing Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We also had a Rich Dad, Poor Dad book giveaway that came back. I left on the table here, so we'll have 2 Rich Dad books to give away. Do not steal that, Clint. I see it in your hands. But what's that? Yeah. So no. But I'll let Rob talk. And if you haven't heard, Rob was just on our podcast recently too. And so check out his episode. It was like 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago. So there you go.
Hey guys, Rob, JM Real Estate Capital. You need money? I got lots of it. Anywhere in the country, not just Omaha. I'll be in Cincinnati tomorrow. So high leverage, low rates in the single digits. Rentals, rehabs, new construction, BRRRRs, unsecured credit. Give us a call. It's 844-WE-CLOSE, 844-WE-CLOSE, or my personal cell, 917-362-0057, 917-362-0057. Happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you. In that second book, the second version of Rich Dad Poor Dad, we have this is kind of what it's all about. We always say we treat this like a library, and so we pick out books, we give them away every month. And if you loved it, got some out of it, or even if you hate it, bring it back and put your card inside there, and we'll give it away again. So I had my card in here for the initial giveaway. Amber Best topped it in there, and then Chuck Crawford just hit the book back again. It's our first time we've had to go 4 rounds. So we appreciate that. And but the book's up here, so we have 3 books to give away. Just throw your card in there or fill out the card, and we'll give that away. And of course, Oxford is back here, and we're going to learn a lot about Oxford tonight. But do you want to get one of you want to speak since we're here a lot of Ken? So what do we have back here?
Well, I don't want to steal your thunder. I'm Troy. I'm an outreach coordinator with the Oxford House. We are the largest network of sober living houses in the world. We have over 3,700 houses in 7 different countries, and we're here to help America with the addiction crisis. And I'm sure Ken's going to get into it a lot more. Thank you.
So as you guys got questions, check out the booth. And if you could give a big round of applause for our sponsors, I appreciate them. They are solely the reason we are able to keep the pricing where we are. I say it over and over again, we are the lowest cost REIA in the country. There's REIAs that charge as much as $500 a month. And I think the next lowest REIA is $250 a year. Kind of give you guys a concept of what we provide. Derek and I were just talking about this. We just had Tamar Hermes. Yes, I got it. And we got JD Luma coming up. We have Sarah Weaver that we did a live interview. We have David Dodge recorded, Alex Camacho. We have Mark Simpson. He owns Boostly. All these are already recorded. Justin Cambria, we're recording with Ashley Kerr from Rookie REIA. We have coming up. So those are some of our podcasts that we've recorded and stuff that's coming up. Denlis told us last week that he's retiring from the podcast. So I want to say this because I want to show our appreciation for everything he's done to grow us to this point on the podcast. And if you guys could give him a standing round of applause for everything he's done for us. I mean, thanks, Denlis. Sure you want to go now? Dennis has got a second baby on the way, so his hands are going to get a little bit fuller. He's growing his other versions of business. He's still going to be seen here, but we started with Dennis just in this room at REIA he attended, and he's like, hey, man, I see you have your iPad up here recording the events. Let me help you hold that. And now you see everything that he's built from this point. So it's been kind of fun to watch the growth. And we couldn't have done the podcast. It's really hard to fill your shoes. I've been working on it now for a couple weeks, and we're getting closer and closer. But we're going to miss you, buddy. Hopefully you jump in enough podcasts here to make up for it.
I told you that I would help you to transition out.
Yep.
Mike.
You're taking that way?
I'm training. No. I'm training Mike to run another studio podcast right now. So keep in mind that he's also an option, and he comes same rate as me, which is $0.
Oh, there we go.
Right? So, but everybody, thank you very much for that lovely standing ovation. I don't think I deserve it, but still, I really do appreciate everything that you guys done, and I mean, I can't wait to see where your radio goes from here.
Yeah.
So, and I would still jump in with some color commentary at some point. Oh, you need me in camera? Just tell me to walk across, bro. I'll come right here.
There
you know, and I'll stand next to Teddy. So again, thank you guys, and yeah.
I didn't realize you were so much taller than that. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. A couple other things. Our event sponsor tonight is Marty McGuire for Blackstone Insurance. So I definitely want to invite Marty up, tell us a little bit about his company. I have give you a little history on Marty. He started sponsoring an organization day one of me taking over. And let's just say mainly because we've been buddies since we're 16 years old. And Marty's he's a godfather of my son, so I do trust him. We've been each other's best man at our weddings. We go way back. And he's done all my insurance and everything else for us on that end. But if you guys use Marty right now, can you raise your hands? I know you have a handful of clients in this room. So yeah, We need to make that better. There we go. So, Marty, you want to say a few words?
Thanks, Ted. I appreciate it. Well, I'll keep it brief, but I tell you what, if any of you have been paying attention, which I'm sure you have, in the insurance market this last year or so, it's been wild. There's a whole lot going on. The industry is finally starting to react to just their lack of profitability within certain areas of the country, Midwest being one of them. We get a lot of storms here, and we have a lot of claims here. And so insurance companies have said enough is enough. Either we're pulling out or we're going to make it so incredibly expensive or difficult to insure properties in the Midwest that you're just going to be stuck. So thank goodness I'm a broker. I have access to multiple carriers. In fact, not all brokers are the same. I do have access to some carriers that I feel that a lot of other independents or brokers do not. Affiliated with Blackstone for that reason. They've been around for a long time. They have a few carrier contracts that just, other people can't get. Carriers haven't given out new contracts in over 20 years in this area. So I have access to a lot of good tools. I love taking care of people. I love strategizing and helping folks to just make sure they're getting the best value for their insurance. But I also know how to insure things correctly. And what I see 90% of the time when I'm auditing somebody's insurance portfolio is there are big holes or big mistakes made. Some agents, they just don't understand, working with real estate investors, rental properties, apartments, commercial properties, things of that nature. They're just trying to get the lowest quote they can get out so that they get the business. And you may be paying for insurance that isn't going to pay out because it's not correctly done. So I always, make sure it's done correctly first, but also try to find you the best deal. So if I can be a resource to you, your family, whoever it may be, I'm happy to help. I've got some cards over here at the booth, and I wish you guys all the best. Thanks.
How much of your portfolio is investment?
I would say at this point, probably easily 65% of real estate investors, doing rentals and apartments and things of that nature. So it's a lot of what I do. I'm well versed in it. Can help out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Also, we have a drink sponsor. So if you guys, do we have any newbies in the room? Any rookies, first timers? 1, 2, okay, 3. Okay, so a few people we don't know how we do. After the event, Burger Theory is attached, and your guys' tabs and food tabs can transfer right over there. So you don't need to pay them off here. You can pay them over there. Kelly and Jenny will transfer them. They go from this side to that side. If you are a member, your food has a 25% discount. So show them your REIA card to get that discount. If you just joined today, just show them your receipt on your phone that you just signed up, and they'll give you that food discount. Also, we have a drink sponsor that takes care of us on. So first portion on the tab is taken care of for the free domestic beers across the hall, and we only do that after 8:30 to promote people come over and network. And and it's a little awkward mentioning the free beers with Oxford in the room, so I just got to throw that out there. But tonight, Momentum Property Solutions, which is Ron and Shayna. What's that? Oh, did I say? Sean. I can't believe I messed that up. I've only known you for how many years? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Good night. Good evening, guys. Thanks, Ted and REIA, for having us, giving us this opportunity to come and speak and let you guys learn a little bit about what we're doing. I'm Shauna, and that's Ron. We are partners in multiple businesses right now. And I like to say we're a power couple. We have over 32 years experience in the property and rental business, and we're experts in our field. Our mission is to disrupt the landlord and property management industry. We don't like the stigma. We would not rent a property that we wouldn't live in ourselves. Doesn't have to be bougie, has to be clean, comfortable, and safe. This in turn creates solid income with quality tenants that are proud to call our properties their home. It also alleviates most common issues with less than favorable tenants. We grow relationships both with the owners and the tenants, providing exceptional service and personal rapport to everyone involved. We offer proper repair, maintenance, upgrades when they're warranted, which not only adds property values, but adds value to the neighborhood and communities in which they reside. We're small but proficient, and that affords us to be selective in securing both smaller portfolios from owners and securing the right tenants that are a great fit for our vision. We work congruently and efficiently to get units up to par to show prospective clients. And right now we are basically specializing in long-term and midterms. So if anybody is interested, I have flyers, cards. We'd love to chat, get coffee sometime.
I'm so sorry. Thank you, Shauna. Also, special thank you to Holiday Inn. If you guys have a little too much fun tonight, they do the rooms for $99 for members. Again, the 25% discount. If you parked in the back parking lot, there's QR codes back there. Scan the QR code. You hit the button for the parking discount. The code is REIAG for guests, and that will give you free parking for the night. And they have little QR codes on there. If you enjoy the service from Kelly and Jenny, give them a review. We appreciate it very much. A couple upcoming events. We have our Omaha REIA Luncheon, and that is going to be on February 16th next week. It's Friday. It's every third Friday, 11:30 to 1. We hold that at the Rail Car. So we're at 144th and Blondo. There is a private room in the back. It fits about 50 people. We've been having about 40-some people there every time. It's a good group. It's open to everybody. You don't need to be a member, so you can invite anybody to come with. So if there's somebody that might be interested in real estate investing or just they like to network and they think that crowd might appeal to them, invite them over. It's a good time. So definitely recommend checking that out. On that same evening, if you are a member of the REIA, there is the National REIA Zoom call. These are always on YouTube if you ever miss them, but the live one is going to be Friday, February 16th, same day at 4 p.m. You guys can go onto our Omaha REIA calendar and you can register for that event. You should be getting emails about that also if you're registered to keep up with what's going there. But that is a national event. And then last but not least, if you guys look on your tables, there's these flyers. If there isn't flyers, then I have a whole pile of them back there on the resource table next to Marty. And but we have Jeff Holst. He's the book author for No Bad Days. And he's going to approach real estate. It's how he approaches real estate and success. Now, he was he was an attorney, and he got really sick with cancer, leukemia, and he was told he wasn't going to live. He should have died. And out of that, he said, you know what, heck with this. I'm getting out of being a lawyer. And he moved on to do just real estate investing. Changed his whole life at a later age. He's in his 50s, travels the world full time. He's originally out of Tennessee. He focuses mainly on that 20 unit area. What he says is that the big REITs want the bigger properties, and your mom pa's like the under 20 units. So he finds that 20 unit is his good niche. He has hundreds of properties in that area. I met him at the Bigger Pockets conference in New Orleans. We met on Bourbon Street. He was tanked, and we had a good conversation with him. And he was on the Bigger Pockets podcast that next day. His life completely blew up from that point, and now he gets $15,000 to $20,000 to be a keynote speaker all around the country. We had him on the REIA Radio podcast. He, besides meeting him in person and getting to know him on the podcast, he said, "Hey man, you take care of my flight out there in my room and stuff, and I'm gonna come speak to your group for free." So he's a great speaker. He's a great guy, and he's a lot of fun. If you want to learn a little bit more about him before that event on March 5th, he has a podcast called Old Fashioned Real Estate. We're kind of jealous that was taken. And so check out Jeff Holst. He's a really, really good guy, very entertaining guy, and he has a great story. And I think you're going to love that event next month. So come here early to make sure you guys got a spot for that one. So that's our upcoming events. But tonight, I wanted to have a little thing prepared for you, Ken. So just I hope everything I wrote here is perfect for you, okay, buddy? But so good evening. It's wonderful to see such an enthusiastic crowd. We got to show enthusiasm when I said, yeah, they're so enthusiastic. We got a treat for you on who's redefining the boundaries of real estate investment. I'm excited to introduce Ken Norman from Oxford House. Ken works Our work isn't just about Omaha, it's making waves across Nebraska, offering unique and potentially very lucrative opportunity for investors like us. His leadership has led significant growth statewide, not just in the number of homes, but lives he potentially has positively impacted. The beauty of what Ken brings to the table is the prospect of long-term partnerships, spanning 10, 20, or more years when it comes to a lease. Imagine being part of something that not only grows your portfolio, but also creates lasting social change. Tonight, Ken will walk us through what it takes to be a landlord in this program, ideal locations for their homes, and the overall impact that this has on this type of investment style. And guess what? Some of our own members in this room, like Ron Kendall, Michael Freed, where you guys? I see Ron there. You guys are sitting next to each other. Ryan Basey. Is there anybody else that is doing Oxford Homes right now? Okay, so we got 4 people in the room doing this program right now. And so they're not, it's not just a theory, it's proven and it's actionable strategies. And so without further ado, let's give a really warm welcome to a true pioneer in socially responsible investing, Ken Norman. Woo! It's all true, right?
Yeah. For the most part.
Here's your clicker. Cool, cool. It's all yours, buddy.
Okay, I'm trying to figure it out. All right.
If you guys have questions, we ask that you come up here, and if for some reason you can't get here, raise your hand, we'll bring a mic to you.
So, like you said, my name is Kenneth Norman. I work for Oxford House Inc. I've been a reentry specialist and outreach worker for about the last 2.5 years. In the last 2.5 years, we've grown quite a bit in Nebraska. So he was talking about long-term partnerships. The first Oxford house that we opened here was 1993, and it sits at 2320 E Street and has been in continuous operation since then. So we have purchased that home twice. The guy that originally owned it put a 15-year note on it when he originally opened it as an Oxford house. We paid it completely off. He decided he was no longer interested in owning that property. We found another investor to purchase that property, and we are currently in the process of paying it off again. So, I mean, it works really well. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through what Oxford House is and what we do. And then I'm going to talk a lot about what it looks like to be a landlord with us. Oh yeah, over here. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's got a link. There we go.
I would switch. Just let me know.
All right. So the origins, Oxford House started with one house in Silver Springs, Maryland. The co-founder, Paul Malloy, opened that house in 1975. We've since spread worldwide. There are now over 3,500 homes in the United States. We're also in 3 different countries. So we're in Canada, Ghana, and the United Kingdom. So we have currently 79 houses in Nebraska, 44 of which are in the Omaha metro area. So people can live in Oxford House for as long as they want, as long as they are drug and alcohol free and contribute to the house solidarity, which includes paying an equal amount of the household expenses. So that's one of the things that sets us apart from like other sober living, is that the house membership takes care of all the household expenses. Stability in houses results from residents moving out when they believe it's the right thing to do. So they can stay as long as they want. As long as they're not disruptive and they don't return to active use, there's no cap on how long that they can stay in the home. What we do is when we get more applications than there are beds available, we open another house. So every year, our base rate of expansion is 15 to 18 homes statewide. So we're always looking for houses. Houses are available to both men and women. We also service houses with women with children and men with children. All right. So what kind of sets us apart from all the other places out there that do this with like a house manager and professional staff is that we have 3 core principles that govern our homes. Each house has to be democratically run. If they're not democratically run, we step in and find out why. The house membership is responsible for all household expenses, and the house must immediately expel any member who returns to using drugs or alcohol. So, I mean, what that looks like, people think we're crazy when we come and talk to them and we say, hey, buy this house, we want to rent it, and we're going to move in, and I'm going to put 13 alcoholics and drug addicts in there, and it's going to be just fine, and you're going to get your rent every month, right? I know that's a hard pitch, but I'm telling you, and we'll get to it here in a minute. I have references from all kinds of people who are doing lots of houses with us that'll tell you the same thing. Yeah, I get my check every month early, right? Because that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on in Oxford House is that we're learning a new way to live, right? And part of that new way to live is pay your bills on time and in full. So, all right, so our membership, admitting the problem is the first step to drug and alcohol rehabilitation. So programs such as Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous offer initial support. Some individuals choose to go to detox or a 28-day treatment program if they can afford those services. I also take a lot of people that end up detoxing in criminal custody, right? So, a lot of people make bad decisions in life, but everyone deserves a second chance. All right. So the things that make Oxford House truly different is we utilize 9 traditions for success. They're all written to inspire unity and make a house a cohesive home. One of the things that we talk about a lot is it's a single family home. And we look at each one of these houses not as a recovery house, but as a house, a single family unit. So these guys, because I'm an outreach worker, I currently live in an Oxford House. My Oxford House is on 120th and Pacific, and I live with 11 of my best friends, right? It's great. Anytime I have a bad day, I can come home and they're right there to help support me and get me through it. And anytime they're having a bad day, we all bond together and go out, go to a meeting. I know that they are currently having lasagna at the house meeting tonight while I'm here talking to you lovely people. So the house is democratically self-run. And that's super important. If you want someone to take care of a property and be proud of what they have, you put them in charge of it, right? It gives people who are not used to having responsibility, and, a lot of us come with low self-esteem and those types of problems, and we put them in charge of this beautiful home. And then we tell them, look, you're going to have the nicest house in the block, and we absolutely insist upon it. And they take pride in that. I mean, that inspires leaders within the home. And I mean, I'll tell you, I have 44 houses here in town right now, and they are the nicest house on our block. So the house membership is responsible for all household expenses. So they take care of everything. They take care of the rent to the landlord. They take care of all of the bills. snow removal, lawn care, maintenance. We're going to talk a little bit about maintenance when we start talking about landlords. And the house must immediately expel any member who uses alcohol or drugs. So that's super important to us. You can't have an accident like I accidentally had a beer on the way home from work. Yeah, you probably have to have a new address at that point. All right. So where are Oxford houses located? So we have group home living in friendly neighborhoods. Oxford houses are situated in prosperous, friendly neighborhoods throughout the nation. So I talk about this when I talk about the landlord section of this, but I want nice houses in nice neighborhoods. It's super hard to stay this path if you're in a neighborhood that is predominantly surrounded by drugs and alcohol, right? There are some neighborhoods, and we all know it. I mean, y'all are all real estate professionals. You go down on 24th and Leavenworth, it is a lot harder to get away from drugs and alcohol than it is on 120th and Pacific. So, our houses are located in 46 states, including Washington, D.C., worldwide in Australia, Canada, Ghana, and the United Kingdom. Okay, so this is the democratic part of it. Our members become vested because we give them jobs when they get there. So the members of the Oxford House have an interest in ensuring that the house runs smoothly because we elect them into officer roles. Those roles are president, treasurer, secretary, comptroller, and chore coordinator. We make them responsible for the day-to-day operations of it. So Oxford House is the solution. The state investment to fund Oxford House's expenses contributes to making people productive citizens, reduces homelessness, and prevents relapse. So the thing that I really like to talk about is I've lived in an Oxford house for 6 years, right? I made a lot of bad decisions in the 35 years prior to coming to an Oxford house. They've helped me to have a life that I couldn't possibly imagine, right? I would have never in my life prior to becoming a member of this program and then becoming an employee for Oxford House Inc., doing things like talking to senators. This year, I think March 6th, we're going to be on Capitol Hill and talking to all the senators for Nebraska and Iowa, trying to get more funding for Oxford House Inc. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that would happen, right? And that's something that Oxford House has given me. And I like to see every person get that kind of opportunity that comes through any of the doors of our houses. So what it really does is it reduces the number of relapses, which that reduces the cost of incarceration and homelessness. It also drops the number of alcohol and drug related crimes. So like family physical abuse is one of the ones that you see a lot of. It's all but rampant throughout Omaha. Members of our program come in broken, and when they leave, they're productive members of society. I mean, it really is changing people's lives. So what are we looking for at Oxford House? I want good houses in good neighborhoods. So we do have like a minimum number of bedrooms. Houses run anywhere between 6 people at the low end to 12 or 13 at the high end. So do I need a 13-bedroom house? I absolutely don't. 3, 4-bedroom houses work just fine. I can utilize a lot of space that traditionally would be like a second living room in the basement if it has egress. A den can be converted to living space as well. Uh, all of those types of modifications are on the landlord, right? We rent, we don't own, so therefore the landlord does have a little bit of an initial investment when it comes to making the house build to suit. Most of the time, houses take very little modification. It's usually egress windows and some pony walls or walls being rearranged to make a space more accessible for living as opposed to a second dining room or a den. Yeah, no. I went away. All right, so minimum number of bathrooms. If I open a 6-person house, I need at least 2, right? If I have 10 or 12 people in the house, 3 or 4 bathrooms is probably preferable. A couple of them can be half baths, but I need at least 2 or 3 showers because you get that many folks all in the same house, all getting home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You need several bathrooms. Some of the other things that we look at is like the power coming into the home. Like a 125 amp service for 10 people probably isn't going to cut it. I look at usually wanting to have a 250 amp service and a water heater that's not your standard 50-gallon water heater. I mean, like, that's really tough with lots of people in there. Now, does that mean I need it changed right away? No, but I always tell people when I'm going to look at a house that we may not change it right away, but within the next 3 years of this lease, boy, I'd sure like to see a 75-gallon water heater put in here. So maximum number of beds. I really, so I've talked to a lot of folks and they're like, oh, this sounds like a great program. You guys pay per bed, and I have this great big house, and I say we put 17 people in there, right? No one wants to live like that, right? If the house is gigantic, if it's 6,000 square feet and reasonably priced, we can probably put 15 people in there. But if it's a 2,400 square foot home, a nice big house, that's probably going to run 10 or 11 folks comfortably. So I don't want to pile people in on top of each other. So adequate parking for all members. I look at a lot of houses and I have to say, hey, this just isn't going to work, because I get there and the house was manufactured in 1898 and has a single lane driveway that probably can accommodate 2 cars, and then street parking for 2 more, and 10 people are going to live there. What that does is that immediately puts us in a situation with the city of Omaha. So because the first thing you're going to say is, yeah, you moved in and parked cars up and down the entire block. So I definitely look at adequate parking, even if we just have to do like a gravel parking lot in the backyard off of an alley. So reasonable rent for the quality of the property. This is another one that I see a lot. I talk to folks and they say, I got a really great property. And it probably is a really great property. But it's a 4-bedroom home. I think we can fit 8 people in there. I need $4,700, right? That's never going to work. And it's simple economics. I can't charge a guy coming into recovery, $250 a week to live in a home, and he's working at Burger King or something. So the houses can't be super high. This is not something that you know, I don't want to say you can't make a good positive cash flow, because you can. There's lots of people that I work with right now that make their mortgage, make their insurance, and still make some money out of the deal. But I mean, if you're trying to write a house and get a lease and write it at like 1.2% the total value of the home, after remodel, I mean, that's really tough for us to make an Oxford house work at that point. What I look at is I want to be somewhere between 0.07 and 1% of the total price of the home when we're opening a house. Because the lower rent is going to make it long-term sustainable, right? And what you don't get in the front end every month when you get your rent check, you're going to make up for in the long term, because we don't ever want to move. Like, I never want to move a house. We get a house I want to stay for as long as I possibly can. So egress for all bedrooms in the basements. I got a really good egress guy, so that's usually not a problem. And adequate laundry facilities for the number of beds. So if I put 12 or 14 people in a house, one washer and dryer probably isn't going to cut it either. All right, so what am I looking at when I'm thinking about choosing a property? So referral sources, and you know, for us, we have to fill those beds, and I have to keep them full in order for our landlords to get their check on time. So I'm looking at, are there treatment centers anywhere in the near vicinity? Is there a judicial branch? So we do drug court, diversion, parole, probation. And as an outreach team, and there's a lot of us, I have 4 of them back there in the back tonight, plus myself, we go out and we find those referral sources to keep the houses full. But it's very important that those are around the area where we want to move into. Is there a 12-step community? Obviously, this thing is not going to work if they can't get to AA and NA. So mental health facilities are also a wonderful source of referrals for our houses. We look at public transportation, as well as, are there grocery stores, pharmacies? Is there cable service? Because you cannot open a house and have people move in if they don't get the internet. They want gigablast, like ×2. So, and also work. So I've looked at a lot of properties because I'm primarily looking to expand in La Vista, Papillion, Ralston, Millard, West Omaha, and Bellevue. And I've looked at quite a few properties that are great. There's really nice houses down there in Bellevue, but a lot of them get way out there past 370 and there's nowhere to work. So, you know, a lot of the guys that I deal with, they don't come to the house with, they did not wake up some sunny morning and it was all rainbows. And they said, you know what, I'm going to go move into an Oxford house today and get my life together, right? So they don't have cars. And having places for them to work around these homes is also a real consideration. All right. So the advantages of renting to an Oxford house, lower cost to maintain the property. So in all of our lease agreements, one of the things that we do to offset the fact that, yeah, we can't pay a whole ton of money for rent, we're more than happy. I mean, a high retail property, I am more than happy to pay 1% of the retail of the home to live there, right? If it's high retail, I have no problem with it. But one of the things that we do to offset the fact that 1% is probably my cap is we take some of the property management expense away from the potential landlord. So anything under $100, we take care of on our own, no matter what it is. You know, the socket in the bedroom goes bad, we'll call an electrician, have them come out and replace the circuit. You know, the plumbing issues that I'm sure if y'all have property management stuff going on, that one's a big deal, right? Because people are constantly stopping up plumbing and then calling and going, hey, I need you to come out right now, right? Right now. We take care of all of that. I just call a plumber and have them come out. So the things that we really worry about when it comes to like property maintenance are the big stuff, right? The A coil goes bad on the air conditioner, we're calling you. If the main line run into the street collapses midwinter, we're calling you. But like that little stuff, the window breaks, I'm calling a carpenter. We'll use your carpenter if that's what you would prefer. And if he's more than $100, I'll pay all the way up to $100 and then you cover the rest. So the stability of a long-term rental, I mean, that's a great big deal because what you don't get up front, you're getting in long-term equity in your home. Like I said, one of our houses has been in continuous operation for over 30 years. I have a whole list of that 44 houses I have here in town that have been in continuous operation for over a decade, right? And we have no intention of moving. I have a landlord that owns 13 of them and lives quite comfortably off the passive income generated by purchasing those homes. We bought the house for him over the course of 10 or 15 years, and now he's just collecting a check every month. So we do yearly walkthroughs to make sure that all repairs are handled promptly, and that doesn't just mean like repairs that we need you to do. So if we do something to the home, I want you to have the opportunity to walk through it with me and go, hey, you know, those guys must have been slamming the door because there's a hole in the drywall. And I say, okay, well, we're going to put that on the list and I'll have a drywall guy out here and we'll get your house repaired. We also take care of like the little stuff, making sure that the smoke detectors got batteries in them, making sure that if the paint starts to get dingy, we're just going to buy paint and paint your house. I don't do exterior painting on houses, but when my guys go, hey, we really want this bedroom painted, I'm like, buy some drop cloths and some paint and pick a color. You know, call the landlord and make sure that they don't mind that color. So, all right. So when we're dealing with leases, we provide reference material upon request. I have quite a few people that will be happy to tell you that they get their check on time and in full, most of the time before the first of the month. There's a large group of staff that make sure that if you have any problems, right, you're renting to an Oxford house, it's the first, you don't have your check in the bank, you call us, I will go personally and make sure that they pay their rent that day, right? So we agree on a set lease price. So the market's volatile. I get that. We like to do long-term leases because I don't want to move ever. So I really push for 3-year leases, and I get people that say, hey, well, you know, can I put a rent increase clause in there? I mean, you can, and I can probably still get it approved. I just don't like to see, we're going to raise your rent by 10% every year, no matter what. Because what you're going to do is, if I come in at high retail, and then you put a rental increase in there, built into the lease agreement, you're going to push us out of your home, right? Because if I'm already at high retail, the house is not going to be worth 10% more than what it was in 3 years, most of the time. So, I mean, it behooves you that if you want to increase the rent over time, maybe you don't want to start at the very top of the ladder. So we hold up our end of the bargain. I tell every person that I get to purchase these homes for me that we're going to have the nicest house in the block, and I absolutely insist upon it. I am in those houses all the time. We make sure that they keep up on things like snow removal, keeping the yard up, making sure that they're not, trashing the place. We absolutely insist that, when I make those agreements with landlords, that the membership follows through. So we don't promise things from the house that will be impossible to deliver. That's why I talk about things like rent right out of the gate, right? It's just not realistic. For instance, I just use my house for example a lot. I live on 120th and Pacific. It's a beautiful $350,000 home, right? The guy said, well, it's an expensive market, and I had to write a really expensive loan on this house, and I need $3,500. And I'm like, I have no problem paying that. But in 3 years, if you want $3,800, we might have to move, So, I try not to make any promise because, had I told the guy, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. We don't mind how much you need for the house. I'd have been lying to the guy. So we don't get involved in remodeling and renovation of the property. A lot of times it doesn't take a lot of changes to get a house into the shape that we need to have it. It usually is egress windows, maybe knocking out a wall here or there, adding pony walls in the basement, because we figured out a way that with the city code, we can put 44-inch walls and one egress window and divide that up into 3 different living spaces that all utilize one egress window. So it takes it from, I built 3 bedrooms in the basement and put $15,000 worth of egress windows in there, to I spent $4,000, put a egress window and a couple pony walls, and now it's all usable living space. But again, that is all completely on the landowner, right? And we're very upfront about that. I walk through houses and tell people what I need done prior to us ever even negotiating a lease agreement. And of course, we do prefer 3-year leases. So this is my contact information. You can scan that QR code and it'll save my contact into your phone. Jackie Alba is my boss. She's right back there in the back. That is the QR code for her. She is the senior outreach worker for the state of Nebraska. So she oversees all of the different areas. I also have representatives from the outreach team from Lincoln and Western Nebraska, because it's not just Omaha. I want properties all over the state. So thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, thanks a lot. Would you speak on like HOAs, or if neighbors kind of disagree with what's going on, or if they kind of pitch a fit on these guys coming in?
Sure. So here's the thing. I try not to move into neighborhoods with homeowners associations. If there's a homeowners association in place, they can, without any real trouble, get us out of the neighborhood. Okay. So I just don't go into neighborhoods with HOAs. But if I move into a single family dwelling anywhere in Douglas or Sarpy County, the American with Disabilities Act was created back in the 80s that protects any group of humans living together in a single family home as long as they have a disability. So alcoholism and drug addiction is considered a disability under the ADA. Therefore, we don't have any of those problems. So I moved into 120th and Pacific, and we didn't, it wasn't like we went in there and said, hey, we're going to be in Oxford House. Yay, we're moving in your neighborhood. I'm bringing 13 drug addicts, and they're all going to live next door to you, right? They didn't notice for a little while, and we're nice people. We were out there saying, hey, let us break your lawn and stuff like that. And somebody spilled the beans, right? And the neighborhood went nuts. And I had the lovely gentleman from the zoning commission here in Douglas County over at the house, and he said, hey, how you doing? I heard there's 11 people living in this house, and we want to know why. And I said, well, we're in Oxford House. Here's my card. I work for Oxford House, Inc. And Mr. McCahey said, well, you have a wonderful day, Ken. Have a nice time. We don't have any problems. So we have won, I think, 13 lawsuits in Douglas County, right? So we have zero problems with Douglas County housing and zoning. Sarpy County gets a little bit twisted about it. But again, one of the benefits of working with us is that we have an extensive legal team in DC. So anytime that kind of stuff comes up, it's not even on any of our landlords. What we're going to say is, hey, don't talk to the zoning commission. Our lawyers are going to talk to them for you. And it just goes away. So, I mean, we don't have a lot of problem with any of that.
So a hot topic button right now is, of course, the city inspections. So are you guys allowing city inspectors to come in, walk through the properties? How are you guys handling that if you do or do not?
So they require y'all to register with the city for that inspection. But as tenants renting a home, we get a letter in the mail that says, hey, do you want to let us in so that we can inspect your home and tell you what we think? And we just check that box that says, no, we don't ever want you to come in our house, ever. Thanks for offering. Have a nice day. Right? Does that save you the $125? I don't think it does. Does it, Ron? Yeah. They're still going to make you pay. Right. They're still going to make you pay, but we don't want them in there just as much as you don't want them in there. And it's not because we want to, be shifty about it. But the last thing I want is them to come in there and go, well, you guys divided up this basement into a living situation and you didn't put outlets every 6 feet around all of these corners. And I mean, that's great if you need it, but in most of those situations, I don't need 42 outlets in one room. So
have you guys considered, I probably got this question a lot too, multifamily homes, like small multifamilies, maybe duplexes?
Okay, so I can do a duplex as long as you are willing to convert it back to a single family dwelling. All right. So even like multi-unit conversions, they took a house from 1904, one of those big 3-story, and they converted it to 5 units. I have to have it converted back to 1 meter, 1 water meter, 1 gas meter, because the law that allows us to all cohabitate in the same home as not blood related people very specifically enumerates that it has to be a single family dwelling.
Ask all the questions. Yeah, I know that there's a few of you guys in the room that have worked with this program. Can any of you guys tell a success story that you've had with the program and what your portfolio looks like now? And even some financials that back it would actually be really, I think, helpful for some of us.
Hey, everybody, my name's Ron, and I am an alcoholic. You don't have to be that, though, to rent Oxford. And by the way, we are sponsoring drinks after the deal here. I did have kind of an in. I run sober living houses of my own. I would much rather rent to Oxford Group because I don't have to manage them at all. So I have 3. The one story I just can never get over is I had a house on 40th and Cummings, and this house was destroyed. And Ken came over and looked at it with a couple other guys. And I mean, this house was trash. I guess he had seen my work before, but it was just so great that he went through, he measured all the rooms, and they just looked at me and they're like, "We'll take it." And I'm like, "You all are fucking drinking." I mean, but that house is very successful. I did sell it. I signed a 2-year lease. I did have to sell it. I don't know if Jackie knows that.
She does.
Okay, good. But here's the thing. I sold it. Their lease was good for 1 more year, and I offered to manage it myself for the new buyer because that's how comfortable I am that I won't get called over there. I literally have not. My other house, one of them's on 49th and Center. It's a girls' sober living house, and I want to say I've been over there twice. It's been about 1.5 years. I've been there twice. The other house on 127th, right off of Center. And and by the way, I had some huge plumbing problems. He is correct. If the plumbing pipe out to the street collapses, they will call you for that. Personally, I don't buy a house that doesn't have a collapsed plumbing line. So I get those calls, but and they were so great about it though. Like 10 guys in the house, nobody take a shit. But they were so great about it. It was really like, we all know that normal tenants are not okay with that at all. You know, these guys were great. You know, money wise, I would say that I couldn't rent these houses for a whole lot more. So it's fair. It's a fair market price. They do take very good care of the houses. And I would do it again. Even selling Cummings Street, I really didn't want to do that. Just I kind of backed myself into a corner. I don't know if anybody's ever done this with their line of credit, but I do it a lot. So you know, I had to do that. However, I probably will find them a house from one of the houses that I manage to move into. So I'm so impressed with this group that I highly recommend it.
Thanks, Ron.
Hello, Michael Freed here, and I've got 4 Oxford houses now. 3 of them are out in Norfolk, Nebraska. I never would have thought that I would be an out-of-city investor or whatever, and I've done it. And those are the easiest houses to manage that I own. So I also got one in Omaha and soon to be one in Papillion. So I'm looking forward to getting the next one up and running. But of all the houses that I've got, I gotta say, the least time consuming, the least pain in the ass houses have been the Oxford houses that I own. And I mean, that's 100% the truth. They handle the little things that Ken was talking about. I don't even get the calls. They just handle them. And every time that I've gone out there, and every time I have opened a new Oxford house out in Norfolk, or I'm out in the area for funerals or whatever the heck I'm out there for, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm in the area. I go stop by. They're the nicest looking, cleanest, you know, best taken care of houses that I've got. So I can't, you know, endorse them enough. I'm committed. I said I'm going to get 10 more Oxford houses, or 10. I'm going to get to 10. I'm going to get to 10. We're going to hit 5 by the end of the year. We'll see what we can do. But I definitely, it's a great program. I also love that everybody can, I guess, everybody deserves a second chance, third chance, sometimes fourth chance or whatever. But they changed lives. I went out to the Oxford House Convention. They have like a convention, a national convention, a state convention, and hell, they got a world convention where all the people that are involved with Oxford House, all the leadership goes out. And I went to that state convention, and I had to follow Ron, who's an amazing speaker, and he was like Mick Jagger up there. And I'm like, I got to follow this guy. But it was everything. But when you hear the stories about the lives that are changed and, people that are, making a difference and just completely changing their life and going out and doing things that they never would have thought they were going to do, helping other people pick themselves up, encouraging them, supporting them, and, living and making a life that maybe they hadn't thought of 2 months ago, 10 years ago, whatever. I just think it's a great program. I love it. Thanks for sticking with me.
I also have a house in Oxford House in the Sarpy area, Bellevue. They are awesome. The thing that really touches me more than anything is going in there. It's women, and I think they have a few children there too now. The stories, and you can hear how they have a second chance, and they take so much pride, but they are out of all of our rentals, that is the nicest, cleanest, and they call us regularly. Can we do this? Can we do that? They ask for permission, so no problems from them at all.
And to kind of give you guys some other way to look at this, I've been trying to get an Oxford home now for about a year. And I call Ken up. I'm like, hey, can you take a look at this property? I got I think it's good to kind of talk through this too, to give you a different perspective of this. We originally talked about a 4-bedroom house that I had, but we were about 2 parking spots shy to make that one work. Then we looked at a 5-unit conversion I have, and we were like, okay, so to make this work, we're gonna have to take off all the front doors of all the units, take out a couple kitchens, and we need a meeting space to have. So we'd have to take out a wall between the unit, and the numbers would have made sense. You said put a parking lot in, and the numbers would have made sense for me to do that. And right now it's a backup option that I have. Then Tanner Gordon and I bought a 4-unit, and we're like, hey, we can open this up. It's gutted. It was a fire unit, so we could build it to suit. But then it wasn't the exact area that worked. So it isn't just like, hey, I got a property and this is going to work. There's criteria. It's a process, and you got to be dedicated. Maybe you get lucky and just hit it on a home run on the first one. But if it's something you really want to do, stick with it, because from everybody I've talked to, as you've seen here, it's something that's worth it for you to consider to put in your portfolio. And I'm really tight with these guys, and they tell me all the time that this has changed their lives in their real estate investment portfolio. And for those two to tell me that means a lot to me. So I would recommend taking these words that you're hearing and re-listen this on our YouTube channel if you missed it. But there's a lot of opportunity here, and it's not just for you. We got to get out of you. You're changing other people's lives, and again, there's opportunity there to affect our community and do some outreach. So with that, thank you so much. Any other questions you have for Ken? We still got a little bit of time, so yeah.
So we all love success stories, but we all make mistakes. So let's say you have a tenant and they hit a speed bump, and we have a catastrophic issue, holes in walls, significant damage. What's the process for that? Is it landlord insurance? Do they have tenant insurance? Do you guys work with them?
So the way that it works is we have like layers of protection when it comes to our homes. So all the houses, of course, are financially responsible for themselves, but our houses band together and form what we call chapters. Every month they pay dues into those chapters, And that creates a surplus of money so that if we have problems, vacancies become too high, checking accounts become too low, the chapter can step in and assist that home to get back on track. So that also comes into like horror stories. So I'll tell you one of the ones that I've seen happen. It has a happy ending though. A guy really upset his girlfriend. So she came over and stuck the hose in the egress window and turned it on and wandered off. Right? When the young men that were living in the home gave me a call, there was already 8 inches of water in the basement. So I called the landlord, who actually lives in West Africa, right? Because he does missionary work and he goes over there for 6-8 months at a time. And I'm like, look, the house is flooded. We're going to definitely need some contractors out there, but don't worry, we got you. Whatever it costs, you just need to tell us what we need to pay. So it was $13,000, right? We cut the check. That house is in the exact same condition that he rented it to us in, and we didn't even bat an eye. If it's on us, then it's on us, right? If something bad happens and it's not on us, right? Storm comes through, the tree's got a hollow core in it and it falls through the roof. We're going to call you and be like, hey, tree fell through the roof. You know, maybe we need someone to help fix that. But it's, you know, it's different when you deal with Oxford House, because let's just say that the tree falls through the roof and it completely makes the house unlivable. So all those men are about to be displaced. You know, at that point, I'm going to rehouse them. Whether that means that I divide them up through all of the properties that we have here in town, but I'm going to get them a safe place to go. And then we're going to talk to the landlord about what it takes to get the house back into usable condition. So, I mean, like, it's both sides of the fence. If it's on us, it's on us, and we're going to pay for it, no matter what that cost is incurred. So.
You have questions? Wow, got to be today. Thanks, good job. Hey, while I finish up here, if you didn't get a chance, over there by the JM Capital, there's a wood bowl. We got 3 books we're going to give away here at the end. So if you want to put your name in that bowl, we're going to give those away. Just a couple things that we always do here at the end. I know that there's a handful of visitors here, but it's always good to know who's next to you and what they do. So I just go around and ask if you have a SASIC class or if you do this type of work, please raise your hand. And that way, if there's somebody next to you that maybe wants to get into that, it gives them an idea of somebody to talk to. So if you are doing Oxford homes, can you raise your hand? There we go. That's a good starter one. If you were doing regular long-term rentals, and who is doing short-term rentals, Airbnb short-terms, and who's doing midterms, any midterms, and who's doing storage units, any storage unit people in the room? 2. And who's doing RV parks? Anybody doing RV parks? And I can't call them trailer parks, right? What trailer parks? Anybody doing trailer parks? There you go. There we go. And who's doing? Where's our flippers in the room? Any flippers in the room? And where's our contractors? Any contractors in the room? Okay. Yeah. How about contractors looking for business? Oh, I still see a couple hands. Usually the hands go right down. I like that. Who's anybody do commercial strip malls? Anything like that? Couple. And who does out-of-state investing? Any out-of-state investors? Yeah, lots of people. What am I missing? There's probably some other cat. Was that? Multifamily. How did I miss that one? It's on my list. I just skipped right over. Any multifamily owners? There we go. So take advantage of that. Look who's next to you when we go to the other room. Definitely get to talking to those people. And I mean, the resources you have in this room are I mean, they'll help you for life. Trust me. We were talking. We talked about this at the luncheon, and you made a contact. Clint, by the way, so there's all those newspapers that are on the table. Take those with you, by the way. And I need those to go away. I have a huge box of them. But Clint got featured as the member of the quarter for National REIA. They did a big 2-page article of him. There's a whole bunch of great pictures when he was on the podcast. So if you haven't read it, please do take them. Like I said, take them home. I got a whole bunch more over there by Marty. And I got another box, a case of them sitting in my garage right now. So they need to go. And but we were talking, and you said you were sitting next to Bob, and Bob gave you a tip about something to do with taxes and real estate, and it saved you $30,000 in your taxes. I mean, that's huge. I know Owen always talks about it. He was sitting at a table with Clint Bartlett, and they talked about a deal that they couldn't sell, and Clint bought the deal from Owen. He made $25,000 on that deal. So get to know the people at the table, network. That's what it's all about, and take advantage of that. The floor is open if you want to try to keep it like 10, 20 seconds. But if you want to give a shout out to your business, if you got a property to sell, or if you're looking for something for your business, the microphone's right there. Feel free to jump on it. Some days it's really popular, and some days it's not. Nobody's got anything to sell? There we go. Airbnb on wheels. Who's got Airbnb on wheels? There you go.
So that's actually what I was going to bring up. We're doing a webinar on Friday at what time? 9 a.m. And
It's really early for Friday.
You'll be hungover. It's fine.
Old fashions?
Yeah,
drinking old fashions.
So it's going to be on like Turo. So Bob's going to be on there with us, but it's about renting Turos, campers. Just if anybody's kind of been interested in that and how it works, some tips and tricks. Check us out. We'll be live, so you can ask questions and everything.
What will you be live streaming on, and how do we get the link?
It's Zoom, right? Yeah.
And so do you have to be on the Zoom to see it, or are you guys gonna do something with that video? Yeah. If you guys want,
you move it up to the page.
I can add you as an admin to the Facebook page, and you guys can live stream it to our Facebook page also, if you want to do that. That'd be great. I think it'd be great information. I know I'm interested in it. It's like a camper just sits all the time in my store in a storage unit that I only pull out a handful of times.
Quick hack, just like rentals, you don't have to do it where you live either. And we're going to talk about that. So
good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, tax deductions. We like those. Well, I was actually going to bring this up next. We are looking to do a real estate panel in the next couple months. And it's going to be specifically on non-conventional real estate investing. So I'm going to be looking for somebody who has, storage units, Toros on wheels, just all different types of investing that isn't your traditional single-family, multifamily. And we're going to do a panel on that. If you think you'd be a good person to talk on a specific topic, please let me know. We'll probably be doing that. We have a few openings left still for this year. We're waiting for some bigger names to kind of confirm their dates. But if you have an idea for a great speaking event, don't be shy. Come tell me. Or if you got a person to suggest, I'll reach out to them. So come talk to me. I'm always open for that too. So, but thank you to Momentum Property Solutions, and thank you for Blackstone Insurance for being our sponsors tonight. And if you get a chance, tell Kelly and Jenny thank you for taking care of us with the food and drinks tonight. You guys always do amazing. Take care of them. They take good care of us. And before we hand the book out, I just want to say, if you get a chance, it does wonders for our business. We don't get a lot of money for these memberships. So if you could jump on Google or whatever format you review, give us a review on Omaha REIA, or give us a review on our podcast. That does wonders for our business. So we really appreciate that. But I'm gonna go back here in the corner, and we're gonna get some books away. Do we got enough cards in here? Is there anybody who wants to throw a card in here? We got 3 books to give away. Here, card. Anybody else? Okay. There's a card. We got 3 books to give away. You got really good odds right now. Trust me. Anybody else? Cards to throw in here? Okay. Vana Rob, there you go. Okay, so we'll let you pick the book when you guys come up here.
Come on
Perfect angle. Brandon Dirks. Brandon, come on up. You're the big winner. Dirks. We got Big Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Small Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the Psychology of Winning. What are you gonna Big Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Now, if you open the title, no, you switch it up. Got 2 rich dads left. There we go. Next winner is
James Phelps. Come on down.
There you go, James. You gonna take the Big Rich Dad or Small Rich Dad? Okay. This one's cool because this will be the 4th generation book passed down here. So this is the next one. So there's a lot of pressure to the person that gets this one right here. The winner is
Robert Koenig.
Bob. Okay, I'm heading up. So, he has the restroom. We'll give it to him. Cool. Hey, so guys, appreciate you. Thank you so much. What you guys something to say? Go ahead, take it.
I'm Ben with Safe Exit Egress Window Company.
We can't hear you, buddy.
God, trying. I'm Ben with Safe Exit Egress Window Company. I'm also a REIA member.
Sponsor.
Gold sponsor. I give out discounts on stuff. This weekend we have the home show out in Lincoln. I have tons of free passes if anybody wants to go and play around. And also when the home show is downtown next month, the first week of March. I also have passes for that too that I'll give to anybody that wants to go. So please let me know. But the one downtown is only Friday passes. I don't know why they're like special, but Lincoln, it's every day that I have passes for. So let me know. And egress windows, anything you guys need.
Are you digging right now?
What?
Are you digging ground right now?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know
With
it's
the
frozen.
jackhammer.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey guys, thank you so much. We just asked that we try to be cleared out of this room and next door in the next 10 minutes. That way we allow the staff to come in and clean. And appreciate you guys and all have a good, safe night. And if you've been drinking, please do not drive. Have a good night.